So my colleague,
Hi, my
Jay?
name is Jay Kang, and I am an assistant professor of entrepreneurship in University of Oakland University in Michigan. So nice to meet you.
And I'm Paul Benedict. I teach entrepreneurship at Ohio University in what's that? What do you know about OU?
I was just there a few weeks ago.
You were?
Yeah, I went to the Browns game.
That's awesome. So I teach at OU. I've spent most of the last 20 years as an entrepreneur in VC, but a friend asked me to teach, and I fell in love with it, and here I am. So I was sitting in the back during the last session, and I was absolutely blown away by your introductions. Like half the class is international students, seems like. We have a fair amount of international students at OU, but not like this, right? And that's pretty amazing. Just out of curiosity, does anybody know what percentage of the Fortune 500 was founded by immigrants or children of immigrants? Anybody know? What would you guess? Take a wild guess. How many? 81% of all the Fortune 500? That'd be pretty amazing. What's that? 50%? What's that? 35. So it's actually 43% of the Fortune 500 was founded by immigrants or their kids. That's an amazing number, right? The percentage of the population that's immigrants or children of immigrants isn't that much, right? So you guys have a unique advantage over others, over your peers at Ohio University, right? The fact that you can share that with each other. We were talking with a few of you before we got started this morning. A couple things I heard. So some of you are here for extra credit. How many of you are here for extra credit? And how many of you are here because it was required in your class? Wow. So let's understand this. 9 a.m. on a Saturday, required. Who's the football team here?
Yeah.
Buccaneers. What do Buccaneers do? What do Buccaneers do when they disagree with their leader? They mutiny.
That's right.
I don't think I would ever have the courage to require people to be in a class at 9 a.m. So good on you for showing up, and good on you for not mutinying your faculty.
That's right. Well, and I love that our topic today is all about entrepreneurship. I know some of you are from different areas within school business. Anybody not in the business school? Okay, good. Well, we can talk about them. But talk about me. So I know some of you are not entrepreneurship, but some are entrepreneur majors. And I wanted to hear a little bit about some of the businesses that you guys are ruminating, or what are you working on? Anybody want to tell us a little bit about something you've been thinking about or are actively working on? Sir.
I would say that I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and one thing that I see happens is a lot of things like retail, like technology, they're sold on the island for very like extorted prices. So one thing I do is like I would buy certain things, but not like new. Sometimes I buy certain things from people, and then I'd go back to my country and sell them over, just to make like a little spending money. But at times I would do it. There's certain things that are more in demand than others. Like I've carried back watches before, and they haven't sold that well. But then I might carry back because if I look at my target market, which would be like kids my age, like things like sneakers would be more like they would be more interested in like sneakers and phones as opposed to like watches. And that's just what like I've been thinking about like more expanding on that because I do it at a very small scale.
Okay, that's great.
You guys understand what Supreme is?
Yeah.
I don't have the slightest clue what Supreme is, but I hear my students talking all the time about their buying and reselling Supreme stuff. Like somebody told me there was like a Supreme, I don't know what this is, a Supreme pinball machine. It was like listed for 10 grand and they resold it for 50 or something. That's like a thing. So they're not just making me look dumb. I mean, I do, but
Their shoes coming out in October 6th. They're $130 Nike Blazers, but they're off-white. So they're selling right now for like $1,000.
what?
Wow.
So that's very much like what you're doing, right?
Yeah, small scale.
Yeah, sure.
What else? What about you all on this side of the room? Okay.
I decided to make it delivery.
Okay. So kind of like a coffee shop, but
Kind of like
Okay.
like Starbucks, but
Mhm.
better.
okay. Good.
That's
I should
awesome.
hope so. All right.
That's awesome.
Great. Some other ideas? Yes.
So I'm working on a business academy for business executives, leaders, managers, so we can educate them and train them to become better version of themselves, and get them some motivation.
Great.
awesome.
Great ideas. Okay.
So, what are some companies that you admire, right? So you're early in your careers, right? You're getting off to a great start. What do you want to be when you're wildly successful and crushing it? What are some companies that you look to as this is what I might want to become? Something like that. Yeah. Amazon. Okay. So let's just throw some out.
Apple.
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 Great. Who else?
Crunch.
Crunch.
It's a gym.
Okay. Oh yeah, Crunch Gym.
Okay.
My mind was on candy.
Yeah.
Who else? Was that Microsoft? Any others?
Anything over? Google.
Google. Awesome.
Quiet folks in the back. I never let y'all hide back there. Sorry. What do you like? Yeah.
Sure.
Any? Nike.
Nike. Okay, great.
Cool. All right.
So, by the way, if professors ever give you a hard time for sitting in the back of the room, go to a faculty meeting in a college of business and see where all the faculty sit. They all go to the back. So if they give you a hard time for sitting in the back, they're total hypocrites. Okay, so let's talk about these companies. You know their products, right? So Amazon sells stuff online. Apple makes devices, right? Crunch is a gym. Microsoft makes software and other gaming systems, right? What problems do these companies solve? What problem? Well, let's pick one. Which one should we pick? Let's pick Apple. What problem does Apple solve? Connectivity. What else?
Connectivity, accessibility. Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Efficiency.
Efficiency. So did I hear simplicity?
You did.
If I can spell
Yeah.
efficient, this is where.
So for whom? Who do they do this for? Okay, flesh out that idea a little bit for us. So like consumers. Okay.
So none of that is the device, right? When I asked what problems do they solve, you didn't say they make iPhones, right? That's a really profound thing, right? Entrepreneurial businesses are in the business of solving customers' problems. So you're asking for whom?
Right. So we got consumers. Okay. Those are mostly consumer plays up there, right?
Whoops.
Are there ventures that solve problems for anybody else? Anything you can name or think of?
Amazon solves the cloud storage for Netflix, for example.
Okay, great. Right, so they can be providing business-to-business solutions. Yeah, so it's good to be thinking about who are they serving, what are their problems or pain points, exactly.
Okay. What else? What other customers does Apple serve? Think about the App Store. Who are Apple's customers in the App Store? Other businesses as well, right? So other app makers, other developers. Right? So what does Apple get for that in that exchange? Yeah, they get a piece. Right? What does the business get in that exchange? Access, exposure,
Distribution.
right? Distribution. Good.
Right. So you can see with a lot of these, there are two sides, right? There's a business side, consumer side. So whether you're talking about comes to the health apps that you talked about, Nathan talking about retail. Can't read your name, Kelly? Yes. With any of these, think about, are there multiple facets, multiple sides, or target markets?
So these are all massive public tech companies, right? Is that
Yeah.
our case is maybe not so much. All right, so what is this thing?
Yeah. Paul, I don't know. They're looking kind of tired, stressed out. Not everybody got up. Can we take a break? Is that just too weird?
No,
Could we?
I'm all for a break.
You're for a break? You know, I'm really stressed out too, and I've been lugging my heavy luggage and stuff with all of my flights and stuff, and I'm thinking, you know, could use kind of shaking it out, maybe a massage. Jay, you want a massage? I can give you a massage. Why don't you give a massage to your neighbor, unless that really is too weird.
We've been in here a while, right?
Yeah, right?
Eric,
You know?
you said you needed help.
I,
right?
I definitely. Oh,
Looks like you're totally uncomfortable.
thank you. That's a lot better. It's like, okay,
I'm the
Jay.
only
Sorry,
one
I'm
I'm
done.
not getting a massage. How did I get?
So-
How did I get to be the caboose?
We'll get some friends later. We'll
Okay.
make it work
All right,
out.
good.
All right. So thank you for not participating. Come on, guys. Come on. I know it's Saturday morning, but you know what's so. Let's see.
It's
That's
cold,
right.
right?
That's the problem,
Stand
right?
up, jump around.
Move around. Yes.
Need more
So you read a little bit about Mark and his situation. Like many of you, you know, Nathan's experiencing. He goes home. There's shortage of some of the things that he might like to have. He sees an opportunity. Mark has his epiphany in the middle of the night, right, about this thing. And so what is that?
It's a wooden ball with legs and balls.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's certainly a description of the product, right?
What is he solving a problem? Right, we talked about some of your success stories over here on the board. They solve problems. What's he doing? Anything useful?
Solve the illnesses that Susan get when they
Okay.
painted their arm and forearm, so that
Mhm.
helps.
Carpal tunnel.
Pressure from their arm and better focus.
Okay. Okay.
So AY for Mark's product is solving hand pain, carpal tunnel.
Implicit in there was also a who. That's another W, right? So you said a masseuse, monsieur, okay? Is there anybody else? Because we did talk about multiple facets, right? Is this thing useful for anybody else? Any other problems that we could solve? Kelly.
I would say private people that cannot afford to go to having a massage, they can do it
Okay.
at home.
So
it's
like
very
consumers like you and me?
Mhm.
Okay.
Very easy to use.
Oh, okay, so I don't need a lot of training. It's really simple. I haven't tried this out. Hopefully it works great.
Really good.
I could use that later today. Yeah. Okay. So who, the professional, who the consumer, great. My wife loves massages, so she'll always want one. She carries her pain like just to the right, usually maybe above that right shoulder blade. I don't usually have that, to be honest with you, but she does. And so I'm totally not a trained professional, but I know where those little knots are, so I'll work on that. And boy, that really does tire out, my hands, my thumbs really quickly. So I get that. That resonated with me. I can imagine that would be a real problem.
Are there other things that you could use this device for? Other problems it could solve?
They catch.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
With anything, and I know you've had some models, things drawn on the board this morning, you're thinking about, well, who, and so let's focus on that first one, the professional. I mean, if this to be a viable business idea, not just a cool gadget or a toy or whatever, somebody's got to pay for it. What do you think that professional will pay? $10, okay. Okay. Now, what would consumers like you and me, what would we pay?
I don't know. I know that in China you can buy it for $1.
Wow, okay.
For how much?
$1 in
$1.
China. Okay. our business scenario is a little different at those. Now, we're also thinking about how big could this be? So if you're Mark and you're thinking about the professional industry, and do you want to do the matrix or shall I?
Sure.
Okay. How many are there? Let's start with, if we're doing the professional segment of the market, is this some low volume, high volume, somewhere in the middle? What do you think? Could this be a big deal or not? Ray, you look like you had something on your mind. What do you think?
I'm just looking at what you got there.
Oh, okay.
In terms of what?
In terms of like, how big is this thing? How big is this market? If we're selling to the professional, the salon or a masseuse, masseur, is this a big market,
Depends
small?
on the preferences of the masseuse, if they're going to want to use it or not, or if they think the quality of their business will go down.
Okay, okay. Sasha.
So I think that it's a huge market because it's very easy to use, and I know this thing.
Mhm.
When I tried it, I was like, okay, now I know how to use it. You know,
Okay.
you need only 2 minutes to realize how to use it.
Okay.
So it's really easy to buy. Yeah.
So in terms of a global market, in terms of how many people there are, if you're just looking at professionals, masseurs and masseuses, how many are there? Are there a lot relative to the population or a little? A little, right? So the professional market would be low volume, right? You said it would be, they might pay $10, they might pay $1 if they got it in China, right? So where is that in the margin? Is each unit highly profitable or not so much?
Small.
Right. So the professional market is low volume and low margin.
Especially if you're working with professionals, you can't sell them with a high margin, right? You need to sell them with professional price.
Well, right. I mean, maybe.
Well,
but
could they? So do you want to argue that? Would yeah? Go ahead.
Doesn't like, because it's a professional model, mean that you could have a higher margin? Like you could, like say it's like a deluxe version. So I think like the margin would be higher, and I would say they would sell for probably more than to the consumer. Like I could see the consumer paying $10, but like professional I could easily see paying like 50.
From the case, do we have any information about that? Do we know?
Not too much there, I think. Yeah. What about the consumer segment? So we talked a little bit about the professional, how they might be willing to bear a higher price, maybe because their version is higher quality. I like that thinking. Consumer version. Is that high volume, low volume? What do you think?
Who thinks high volume? So most of you think
Okay.
high volume. Okay, so up here, is it low margin or high margin? Low margin?
I think not.
You think high?
Yeah, because it's not only about the exclusiveness. If you work in one area, you always have like competitors or partners with whom you can talk about the price.
Mhm.
And if you will find out that you're overpaying for that stuff, then you will tell to everybody, and they won't buy it for the price. Especially if whole market can buy it for $1, you don't need to buy it for 10 or 15, right? This is like a small community.
So when you say the whole community can buy it for $1, do you mean consumers or do you mean
yeah.
businesses
Just
reselling it?
consumers.
Okay.
So anyone could buy it for $1. Okay. But what's your name, sir?
Sean.
Sean. I like where you were going with your thinking. Maybe there's a version, or is there another way that maybe the professional version could be made to have greater value?
From the plastic or glass or something.
Maybe,
I saw
okay.
those versions too, but it's about the material. Then. But
Okay.
anyway, you can sell it with a high margin, right?
Well, maybe that's what we're trying to have that discussion about. Is there a path? Okay. All right.
So we think that we agree that the consumer market is high volume, right? So, and we're maybe not sure if the consumer market is low margin or high margin, right? So what do we mean when we say margin? So is the price that you can sell it for higher than the cost it is to either source it or make it, right? So if you're buying them from China for $1 and selling them to consumers for 10, is that high margin or low margin? That's pretty high, right? If everyone knows that you can buy them for $1 and everyone buys them for $1 and it costs you 75 cents to make them, is that high margin or low margin? Low, right? So we're not really sure where it fits. It doesn't really say in the case, right? So maybe consumers are here. Question mark.
Yeah.
Where do you want to be
As a consumer, or
as a business? As a business, as an entrepreneur, which square do you want to be in? Yeah, you want to be up here, right? So what would we want to know to see if Mark's product can get there?
Is there something similar to on the market already?
Okay, so competition.
We have Mark's gut feel and talking to his friends about whether this is actually a problem or just if he thinks it's a problem. So we might want a little better understanding too. Is it a pervasive problem? Is it a big problem? Would people be worth or be willing to pay $50 to solve this problem? We don't know that.
What would you do to find out?
Marketing potential.
Marketing potential, okay.
Okay.
Survey.
Okay, so maybe a survey to figure that out. Who would you survey? Tell us how that would work.
You go to the massage like salon, bars, or you call it.
Okay.
And then you would have the actual people giving massages.
Okay.
Go and maybe utilize it. It's like I would say that it's like an innovative form of giving massages as opposed to just using your hand.
Okay.
So
Okay.
some people might say that it really is like if people have like sensitive wrists or whatever, it
Okay.
can reduce the pain.
Right.
I feel like if you go give free samples to athletic clubs,
Okay.
because most athletes they have to get massages to fit themselves with the muscles. So if you give out free samples so they can try it out and they give you feedback on that, they can understand how it works.
So I heard we could do a survey,
That's a
we
good
could
idea.
walk in and interview the professionals, we could give out some samples and then presumably come back and talk to them about it. One of the key takeaways I'm getting is we don't really know. We don't have enough information to know where we live here. And I don't know what, we could just take a little break and let's do that. Okay, we're
Not
gonna
a break.
Our break, yeah. Well, we're going to break the class, take a little break here. So we're going to do a little recon. So Nathan and your crew, I'm thinking, yeah, let's call these guys. Was your idea? I like it. Let's see. If
These are spas open right now in Tampa.
these are open now.
These are massage parlors in Tampa open right now. Let's call them.
You don't have to
Let's
go
ask.
there. I mean, it's, a couple blocks, right?
Let's see if we
But-
can get. Let's see if we can get some information from them.
So I like you guys in this corner. So if you're from Tampa, grab one of these. If you're not, call, Google one and call from your hometown. If it's East Coast, right?
Those of you over here, reach out to a friend, a family member, say, my professor made me come to class on Saturday morning, and I need to ask you about massages.
Sympathy works. Yeah. You could also
It's
put it on
ridiculous,
social
I
media.
realize.
Right. Okay, ready?
There's a
'Cause
purpose
You have
to
10
it.
minutes. Make a phone call or two if you have time.
Anybody
Let's-
that gets actionable information, I will buy you a cup of coffee at Starbucks when we're done.
There we go.
Motivation, a goal.
So,
So,
as
so
to the Facebook or the Instagram, the post a question and just get some feedback. Yeah.
So social media. You guys, I want you to, if you again, which of you are you from Tampa? None of you. That makes it easier. Okay.
who are you calling?
Would you four be willing to?
Okay,
call
so
these four?
Sasha is calling Sunspa.
She is. Okay.
So she jumped on it fast. So no one else calls Sunspot because
I can't see
they
your
get
name,
10
I'm
calls
sorry.
from the University of Tampa.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
what are you doing?
Catherine.
No, not
can
you. It was, it was
do
them.
style?
They're asking, like, what are you doing? Why are you?
Brittany, can you do bamboo? Nathan, Massage Center.
So what would you want to know? You want to know, do they do they want a device that
Day spot,
helps
SP?
them relieve hand pain, give massages, and prevent carpal tunnel? If you're talking to professionals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, in terms of like these massages, isn't that become a like form of your massages you do?
Right. You're trying to understand, do they have problems? Is it like what Mark hypothesizes?
It is awkward, isn't
Or
it?
not? But whether you're a marketing management major or entrepreneurship, you'll need to dig in and find out those solutions. And you can go out in the hall and break out so you have a little privacy, right? It's not a call center per se.
So, and
It'll
here's,
take
here's
10 minutes to break to do this.
there's a method to the madness, right? You guys know Dell Computer? How did Michael Dell build Dell Computer? He went business to business, dorm to dorm, talking to them. Do you need a computer? What would you want in it? Can I build it for you? They wrote him a check. He took their cash, he deposited, he went and built it. He delivered, right? What did Reed Hastings do when he started Netflix? Before it was streaming, when it was just DVD by mail, what did he do?
They charged him like a $40 bucks and then a reasonable.
So even before that, he went out and bought some DVDs and put up a website and talked to people. Do you want you put up a website, do you want this movie? And he actually mailed them himself and collected information, right?
So we have little time left. Again, your social media, phone a friend. We got some recruits over here to
If
to
everybody
call
got
these.
really good information too, you'd bankrupt me with Starbucks. Are you guys in with me?
Yeah, we're in with you.
Okay, cool.
We're in with you.
What do you suggest as sites?
So,
So I think you're
So,
asking.
maybe ask. So,
Well,
what
you've
could
got
you,
a
so
consumer
you're
or a
talking
place
to
back
maybe
home?
a masseuse, right?
Okay.
What
So-
would you want to ask? What are you trying to get at?
Say.
No answer?
Okay. So I mean, introduce you're in a class
try.
at the university, and you're studying the massage industry, and you want what are the problems that they need solved? And I think that's your first string, and then they'll give you some ideas. Jot those down, and then do your hands ever get tired? Would a tool to help you do more massages in a day be useful? So
So, ask them, do you get massages? How often? Would you like more? Do you have any devices at home to give yourself a massage?
yeah.
Would you, if you don't, would you buy one? Yeah.
I know my sister.
Yeah?
She always gives my mom massage and all that, and she's like, yeah, she saw that device once. She was like, nah, like, because we don't. Back I'm from Saudi, so we don't have like Amazon doesn't deliver it.
Right.
So it didn't deliver. So,
Right.
so she was like, yeah, I wish I had that, because like usually she just gets tired and just stops. Like I'm done.
Yeah, we got validation. Somebody said,
There you go.
you get tired. It's exhausting, right? How many of you give massages? To like your friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, parent, right? Do your thumbs get tired? How long does it take for your thumbs to get tired?
Like a minute and a half for me. I'm really bad.
So a minute and a half. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, my mom, she actually has like very intense knots, and ever since I was little, she's always asked me to use my elbow and like.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, use your
One
elbow.
day For like her birthday, she actually had one of these, like the wooden ones, so like I'm familiar with it.
Okay.
I like got her like one that you just lay down on, like just
Yeah.
a machine, and then
Yeah.
Okay.
cause she just get tired from.
There's also an electronic one. It's the same thing. It just vibrates.
So what year is the case set, by the way? So it's
It's
like early 90s,
Yeah.
right? So we
Like
have
25
some
years.
disadvantage of it's
Yeah,
2018 and you guys know a little bit about what's happened since then. Anybody else get any information? Yeah.
I also called my sister, and she has like a lot of sports-related injuries. So she says that when she goes to actually get a massage, sometimes they put like too much pressure, even when she tells them not to, and they like hurt her even while working out. And like with this type of device,
She can control it.
She does it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have luck, Catherine?
No, same thing happened with me. She didn't understand me, the lady,
Well,
even though
yeah.
because she was from
Okay.
somewhere
Did you
else.
call to the Sun Spa?
No.
I flew to Sunspot and I spoke with a, I don't know, lady. She was like, she started to speak with me, I don't know, in Chinese.
Japanese spot.
I don't understand you. Yeah, she's
Okay,
like,
so
Okay.
language barrier.
There's still a couple more to try.
Exercise blows up in my face.
Will one of you guys try? So you said sun spas been taken.
I called massage center 3 times and it's an alternative service.
Massage center.
So,
Okay. Bamboo, East style.
Sun Spa, I found out that they have a massage for 1 hour 80 minutes, 30 minutes. 1 hour 80 minutes. So, 1 hour 30 minutes and it's Spanish massage. That's all I understand. She was like, put your number.
I would say that the entrepreneur have to be used to the rejection. Yeah, so I applied for, I'm an international faculty and I'm from Korea. I don't speak English but not very well. And I applied for the university, more than 80 university. And I finally get a job. So, the rejection or it doesn't really matter. But
That's
if
not
you
mine. That
never
was not
stop pursuing your vision, then finally you will get an answer. So that is what we learned at this point.
Yes,
I
Clark.
called massage loft in Channelside,
Okay.
and the lady said that there's a thing called a Parison wax bath, and you just dip your hand, you melt wax, Parison wax, and you just dip your hand in there, and let it sit for 10 minutes, and that will alleviate any stiffness in your hand.
Oh, so they thought you were asking.
So that's how their
That's how they
massage therapists solve this problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was trying to sell your treatment.
Okay.
I don't know. She thought I was trying to sell her some product.
Okay.
Or something.
So, what did we just learn? We discovered competition. We discovered a substitute. That's huge. You get a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Okay, now what?
Okay. I think one of the key takeaways here is that whether you're in the entrepreneurship program or your general business, that your time is coming likely where you just have to kind of break out of that shell and be willing to go find out. And that might be like Dell knocking on doors, find out what people want, learn that you have to customize things in his case. It might be like with your, it's a lab, is that right? Your application, that their needs will vary and you're gonna need to talk to a lot of people. Doctors are really hard to get in to see too. They're just a joy. Okay, so you're going to learn a lot more about this. We didn't make a lot of progress, unfortunately, in our little experiment. Anything from the social media or others that your phone a friend, texting, Facebook posts? But we know that there are some needs, and some of those came out even just from your own family experiences. But we need to resolve this question about, is there a way to get up this direction? Okay, well, aside from just this cool device, can you think of other ways if you've got a product, your product, for example, or Nathan with your retailing, is there some way you can bring more value than just on the face of it? So we know there's competition, there are substitutes. How do we do something to be different and garner a little more value? Any ideas?
Branded.
Okay, so we try to build a name brand, sure.
Like how jewel devices are thing right now, but there's other substitutes, competitions out there like Fixes, Brews, all that. But everyone's so focused on jewel because it's got that brand.
Okay, so there's a marketing component that might help us, yes, Sean?
Create consumer confidence. They have to be confident in the product. And if they're confident in the product, they'll be able to sell more of it.
Okay. One thing Paul also brought up the example of Dell. So they did a lot of bundling and stuff, right? Where you could get especially in the early days, computer, printer, it got customized, you could get extra RAM and extra stuff. Is there some way we could do something different, packaging with this? I don't mean just the physical packaging. Can we bundle this with maybe different colors so we can mix it up a little? Yeah? Yes.
I was gonna say partnership, maybe you could partner with another product that it could be along the same lines. It doesn't have to be a massage, or it could be something along the same lines.
But complementary.
Asset that, something complementary with that people would also need.
Okay. Keelan.
I mean, it could be by itself. It could be bundled with was like a smaller order, a bigger one, but
Mm-hmm.
sizes. So like your whole family, like if you have a younger kid, want the smaller one.
Okay, okay. So maybe just like those infomercials on TV or whatever, you 1995, but wait, there's more. We'll throw in the kid-sized one. Okay, that could be something. Sure.
You can bundle it with the wax.
Okay, so maybe wax is in there too, right? What?
To like make an incentive or something for someone to buy it, like people who are obsessed with I don't say tree hugging. Like environmentalists.
Sure,
they'll
sure.
Say like this product is made like biodegradable.
Green
or
material.
something, like
Love it.
something that people want to buy.
It's also gluten-free, so that's good, right? Okay. Well, okay, for those of you who've been in for massages like at a parlor or something, what else? So the rub you do, are there any other materials that could go along with? Like you go to the hair salon, there's not just hair cutting. Ladies, yes.
Like lotion or oils.
Okay.
She also do like aromatherapy. Like
Okay, so there could be some massage oils, some lotion, some aromatherapy. Maybe we build a package around this, and that's one way we can move in this direction. At least the margin can move over. I don't know where we'd be necessarily on this continuum. We did identify that there are only so many masseurs in the world, so we know it's this direction. Consumer, if we get a mass consumer market, that would bring some upward pressure, and we can do some unique things to try to move it toward the right. Okay.
So you want to show how this company actually evolved?
Yeah, so actually, before doing that, I have one question. So at the end of the case, it talks about the patent. But unfortunately, it took about 2 years. So if you are Mark, then how will you do that? You will go for the patent or not? So any idea?
I'll go for the patent. If it gets patented by someone else, then the product will work.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can guarantee all the rights to it for you,
Mhm.
it's worth 2 years for 20 more.
Great. Any other comment, idea?
Didn't I say something?
Yeah, how about you?
I mean, it says the patent takes like 2 years, so let's just say that someone else hasn't already started that process. And it also says that it's super costly and doesn't really have the need to.
Yeah, so it is, as you mentioned, that it is not an easy decision. And I will show you what actually happened because this is the actual case, okay? So, as you can see that, in 1992, Mark filed a patent, see, to the government, and this is the image of the device, okay? And more interestingly, he is still actively in the business. I visited his website and then found that, wow, it was founded in 1992. And now we are in the 2018, but he is active in the business by providing the Happy product. The company name is Happy Company. Isn't it interesting? And then we
Hey Jay,
have,
before you leave that, real quick point. Can you go back to that last one? So 1996 named the second fastest growing company in Northern California in 1996. Do you know what other companies were young and new and fresh in Northern California in 1996? Microsoft was a little bit older, but yes. Who else? Do you guys ever use a web browser? What do you use? You use Firefox or Chrome or Safari, right? Netscape was the very first web browser. It was founded in 1994. So it was in Northern California then. You guys remember Yahoo? Yahoo was a really big deal. Also founded in 1994. Amazon was founded in 1994. So it was competing with this guy. How would you compare this business, 8 or 9, depending on if you know the stem and the back, pieces of wood glued together, compared to these guys, right? It's not high technology, is it? But he built a really nice business.
Yeah.
Making a profit while Amazon was losing money.
That's right.
Amazon lost money for a long
and
time.
I asked for the LinkedIn friend with him. And he is really great entrepreneur, and he is in the massage industry, but also he is a motivational speaker. So he came from the massage industry and the manufacturing industry, now even in the education industry. So entrepreneurs can go everywhere across the different industry. Okay?
I think some keys, and you guys were able to bring these out, but then you got to find ways to expand, whether it's oils and all these lotions and aromas, but he became a supplier to the spa industry, not just this one gadget, this one product. So I think that's a key takeaway for everybody is looking at what's the bigger need that you fill and where are there adjacent needs that will evolve. So as you build a core expertise, you can take fuller advantage of that space as you get to know it.
And you can build a really great business that's profitable and employs a lot of people for a really long time, and it doesn't have to be high technology.
Yeah.
Right?
And then one thing that I want to mention is this. So why this guy initiate this business venture? I would say the importance of the philosophy. And this is the mission statement of the Happy Company. We are committed to create a happy life with you. So it is not just about the product. It is not just about the service. It is about the mindset. It is about the philosophy. And it is about the value that entrepreneurs want to create to the society. If you don't have this kind of philosophy, then I don't want you to start the business. Okay?
And I'll just add, it's about focus on mission. So maybe we bring this all the way back to the beginning. Is this a product or a viable business? And I think that's where it's applicable for each of you too, if you've got business proposals. It's easy to get fixated on the gadget you've got, this cool little wooden thing, but that wasn't his mission, to make cool wood massage thingies, right? It was really about happy, healthy, I'll infer healthy from that, lives. And that led him then, yeah, he did that product and that's cool, but it led him to a bigger solution or system of products in the portfolio that were really all about helping bring a brightness to people's lives. And so whether you've got, again, one product idea for now, if you've got that mission focus, you'll have the ability over time as things morph to be able to have something even more, especially because sometimes the original intent doesn't play out.
Yeah, and just to add on to that real quick in the minute or two we have left. So I get that the exercise of like calling people and having them not understand you or not, it's an automatic answering machine, right? That's can be frustrating and awkward and feel weird, right? But you have an idea, and it's probably a good idea and your instincts are good, but you want to test it, right? You want to get out of the building, you want to pick up the phone, you want to go talk to customers, see what they think, see what they want, see what they need. Because if you can identify a customer's pain, a problem, something they want, something that can make their life better, right? And understand who they are, you make those two things come together, you can build a great business, whether it's 9 hunks of wood glued together or a global e-commerce marketplace.
So in closing, what's the point? I mean, is there a takeaway here, especially for those of you who are working on an idea at some point in the process? What can you take away from use? I'll pick on Nathan first. The discussions that we've had this morning, some pieces that you can draw out, at least thoughts about next steps in your business.
Honestly, based on what I see, Hank is he went from a struggling person back and forth in Europe and Trinidad to Europe and America to now being successful. And a lot of people might have good business ideas, but they might have factors holding them back, whether they have a kid, whether they have other responsibilities. And I feel like you should always stay motivated, stay focused, like have that idea or that venture that you think will start in the back of your head, write down anything. And then you spoke about opportunity earlier, which is like something that's feasible. So I think that you should always stay, any ideas you have, you should stay focused and stay active, and never, regardless of what like bumps in your head, like just never forget about it.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.